Hey everyone, we are live, LinkedIn Live here. I'm actually calling from Guild Travel Kidis Tours offices in Tel Aviv, and where I have some meetings here this morning and other meetings in Tel Aviv, and then going to the LinkedIn event. But I'm going to have a short live to talk about specifically how advanced optimization LinkedIn ads. So other platforms such as Google and Facebook, Google in particular, have been around for a while. They have best practices. LinkedIn doesn't have best practices yet. They have some. Very standard, but nothing that's advanced when it comes to optimization. So I don't wait around for other things. We've come up with our own best practices, what to actually do. And this is kind of a little bit beyond LinkedIn. So what we're going to do is we're going to teach you how to take your leads from LinkedIn, from HubSpot or your CRM, go through them, categorize them, find out which leads become opportunities in SQLs. Well, you already know how to do that. And based on that, we're going to take those leads and we're going to discover how to use that information and feed it back into our optimization, targeting, and messaging, maybe a messaging another time on LinkedIn, so we can actually improve not just the quality of the leads, but actually bring in more revenue and opportunities in SQLs. So I want to give you a scenario that I'm seeing a lot from clients and accounts that I've audited. Let's say something like this, right? Our costs per leads are great. We're happy. The leads we're getting in are good. We look at the profiles, we look at the people, everything seems excellent, but they're not becoming opportunities. They're not becoming SQLs. And that's something that people like to talk about a lot. And it's an issue that I'm seeing a lot of people are having. They get the cost per leads down significantly, whether, their demo and they go almost straight to MQL, or if they're gated content, but they wonder why certain things don't get to a certain place. So that's exactly what we're going to be discussing now. Now, the main work we do is based out of a spreadsheet. So I'm happy to show any of you this on a one-on-one call. So if you're seeing this, feel free to reach out to me, or if you know anyone else that's having this issue, then having this issue of you seem like you're having good quality leads, you're looking at the profile, the targeting, everything seems right, and you're happy with how much you're paying, but it doesn't turn into any revenue or any opportunities, this is what you do. All right, so let's get right into it. This is going to be a short call because I got kicked out and I got a meeting in like 12 minutes, and I'm using someone's office. So I think it should be in any minute. So I want you to take your leads, download it from HubSpot, Marketo, Alakwa, Octon, Pardot, whatever you're using. And have the following columns, right? Your first name, your last name, and I want you to have their and the LinkedIn profile, all right? And the gated content that they downloaded. And then what you're going to do is you're going to sort by gated content, and you're going to find, we might find, and we've done this just recently with a client, they had one piece of content that's been about 30% of their spend for the last year and a half. They've been very happy with the quality of the leads and the quantity of the leads, but as now that the sales cycle and the marketing cycle is taking place, we've been doing this long enough, we're seeing the gated content that's spent almost 30% of ad spend that we've been very happy with have not yet become actual conversions, haven't turned into opportunities. So here's what you do. You add columns in the spreadsheet after the first name, the last name, and the LinkedIn profile, and you make sure you have the following columns. You go to the LinkedIn profile and you do this. One, you write in their seniority. Next column, how senior is that person? All right. The next is what location are they in? The next would be the size. You go to the profile, go to a company they're in, open it up, their company business page, and then you're going to want to be able to write down the company industry. And then the fourth column would be the company size. Now you can go more than this, but this is generally enough for about 80% of what we do. There are more columns. You'll understand as we go through this. So let's say hypothetically we have something, let's say the gated content is download this cup of coffee to learn, right? Download to learn how to make coffee. So you're seeing that and you're very happy with the target audience and everything, but this target audience and how much you're paying, everything seems great, but they're not turning into opportunities. Let's say, 30% is about coffee of your qualified leads, of your leads that you're happy with, but let's say only of the gated content, maybe only 10% of them become opportunities. So here's what we do. You take all of the things, all of the gated content that becomes opportunities, and you look at the following of the equivalent gated content. So I wouldn't consider, let's say, a webinar the same as an ebook. You could put ebook, white paper, anything that you download into one category. You find out, look at the ones that become opportunities. You go to LinkedIn profile and you fill them out, and you see, okay, the ones that actually become opportunities, they're in this location, right? And they're not just in this location. The companies seem to be this size. And in addition, we see the individuals within these companies, what their this certain senior, let's say they're a manager or they're a director or they're a VP. Also, you can get a bit of, you see what their job title is. And then what you want to do is, based on that and their location, that you're able to find and you're able to optimize. So in an example I'll give is, we had about 25% of our spend from the United Kingdom. Okay, and our leads from the UK was relatively proportionate, about 25%, but opportunities from the UK was about 7%. So what we did was, since we were limited by budget, we just removed UK altogether, and literally we saw, we've seen opportunities spike. Right, the cost per lead will still be the same. They're still targeting, but instead of going from the UK, it will go from the US and Canada, Australia, Europe, and the rest of the world, and it's much better that way. And then, why is it much better? Because that actual gated content is actually targeted to the people that become opportunities that it's more relevant to, and those that see more lower funnel and easier for the salespeople to work off of. So that's one way of doing it. Another thing you might say, okay, so that's, let's say, a location targeting. And so let's say you're targeting companies hypothetically that are 200 employees plus, as an example, or 500 plus employees. And you're finding that the ones that actually become opportunities are, let's say, between 500 and 1,000. That might be in proportionate. You go look at your demographics in LinkedIn, and you go look at how many leads came from that side that are actually a proportion of that campaign. And you see, let's say, hypothetically, it's a significant side. Let's say it's about 40% of your leads, go 50 or 100. But of those opportunities, the people that downloaded that gated content, that from 50 to 500 to 1,000 employees, instead of being 40%, it's 20%. So what you can do is, if you have large enough of an audience, you can remove it altogether, or you can make a separate audience. And so what you're doing is, you're just taking your best targeting based on the company, based on the size of the company, right? Based on the location of the employees, based on their seniority. You're taking based on even the industry, right? Because some industries all might be converting and they all might be relevant, but some might be doing better than others. So this is what you need to do in order to be able to convert better and to bring those leads back in. So therefore you can actually make them work for you specifically. Okay. So I'm in the rock to someone's office. Everyone's like, who is this guy in the glass doors? So that's one way to do it. And that's the main way to do it, that you're able to take the leads and you're able to remove. There's two ways. One, you remove the things that aren't doing as well. Now, if you really have a large enough of an audience, here's what I recommend, which is awesome. Okay. I call it an alpha campaign. So the cup of coffee campaign, you have a wide variety of people downloading the content. But of those, let's make up a scenario, those that are actually become opportunities that have learned about, downloaded the gated content about coffee, is you'll find out that, they're located at a certain place. Let's say hypothetically, North America was 70% of the leads, even though it was 50% of the spend. Okay. And let's say that the companies work in, let's say, network security and internet companies. Hypothetically, those might have been only, let's say, 20% of the spend, but they're 45% of the leads. And let's say you find out that even though 70% of the spend might have been 1,000 plus employees, but it was 85% of the leads. So what you do is you remove those features as negatives in that campaign, and you take all of those only, and you make an alpha campaign, and you dump massive budget and extremely high bid above the range that LinkedIn recommends. So we'll just target North America with 1,000 plus employees, right? And only in network security and internet. And so then we're giving that unlimited budget and unlimited legwork, and then we start pushing that content. Now what we do is, within that same campaign, because that audience will be smaller, and we're going to get amazing leads that become opportunities at a much higher rate, you start adding other gated content, right? Whatever it is, into that other related content, gated content, into that campaign. And that is the best way that that's the best way that you're able to optimize. So keep in mind, one of the things, most of the optimization people think is within the LinkedIn platform. And there is truth to that. But however, after your marketing cycle continues, after it's been long enough, let's say after 6 months, you can see what becomes opportunities and not. It's important to take those leads, look at the LinkedIn profiles, because that's what LinkedIn targeting is based off of, and look at the profiles of those companies and those business pages, and you want to optimize accordingly. So like I said, just to recap, and then I'm going to have to get going, is there are 4 main things that you need to do, the 4 main columns you need to add. So here's what you do. I'm going to run through, and then I'm going to sign off. And let me know if you want, by the way, a free review, audit for you or anyone else, let me know. I'll be at the LinkedIn meetup later this afternoon. in Tel Aviv, and feel free to come up to me before or after, or just someone to come up to me. I'll probably be the only guy wearing a blazer, and I'm happy to provide a review. Take your leads that became qualified, beyond qualified, as sales qualified leads or opportunities. Download them. You want first name, last name, and then you look up LinkedIn profile. You add to the third column, and then based on their LinkedIn profile, what you're going to add is, again, you're going to add their seniority, their job title, and then you're going to add and their location. And then open up the company that they work for on LinkedIn and add the number of employees and add the industry, which is all right up there at the very top. And based on that, you see who's bringing in what industries, what locations, what company size, what seniority, what job titles become opportunities. And that's where you should focus your targeting. And remove all the other ones that seem like good quality leads and like influential decision makers, but they don't lead anywhere. And that is how you bring a good cost per lead into an actual amazing cost per opportunity, cost per revenue, and actually cash in your LinkedIn ads and do real optimization off the platform and then bring it back in using HubSpot and your CRM so you can actually explode in revenue. That's how you do it. That's the right way to targeting. Best practices are invented here. So if you have any questions and you want me to do it for you for a free review to go through it, I'm happy to. We can book 30 meetings. Feel free to send me a message over on LinkedIn. All right, that's it, everyone. See you over at the LinkedIn event. Take care, and it's going to be an awesome day. Thanks for joining. Now to exit and also, by the way, I'm around in Tel Aviv in the afternoon.